Hey guys, it's Manga here. Coming at you with another episode review, and I'm on episode 3 now, which is The Journey to Duelist Kingdom. Another amazing episode, of course. This episode is incredible at building up the prestige and how many amazing duelists are going to be in Duelist Kingdom. Because, we got Weevil and Rex from the first one, you know, the second episode. Weevil, of course, being the regional champion, and Rex being the runner-up. So we got them. Uh, really, nothing much changes in this episode except for just the fact Joey gets entered into the tournament. Um, the excitement this episode gives me, it still gives me excitement, even 20 years later watching it. When I was a kid, it especially excited me because I thought it was really clever upping the stakes like this with Joey's sister and her eye surgery and stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't watch my videos if you don't want spoilers. So anyway, let me get into the five amazing points of this episode. Um, the first point I wanted to talk about is, of course, like I just said, the VHS tape that Joey watches. Yes, this was the early 2000s. We still use VHS tapes, kids. um, so the VHS tape he pops in, of course, is of his sister Serenity, and she, of course, is saying stuff like she's out of time. Take care, Joey. And Joey almost cries, and and he's like Serenity, and she's gonna go blind if she doesn't have money for the surgery. And so uh so this VHS tape really starts to make him think, because in the next scene he's on the roof of school in the evening talking to Yugi, and that's another great moment, but that's not in my top 5 moments of this episode. But it is a touching moment that really pays off later, in a later in a later review I'll have. But it's amazing. It's emotional. The VHS tape really made it emotional, and I loved every second of it. Um, the second point I wanted to give is Yugi giving Joey those special cards when they were on the boat to go to Duelist Kingdom. Like he gave him, I believe, no. He only gave him. I meant Time Wizard. He only gave him Time Wizard. I forgot. Joey traded for those others like Salamandra, Baby Dragon. By the way, him trading for Baby Dragon. What are the odds of that it works so well with Time Wizard? What are the odds that he found those two cards in the same moment? That's crazy to me. Of course, Yugi gives him the Time Wizard. And to me, that's a funny moment because Yugi knew what was coming in their duel later with Time Wizard, so he countered specifically against Joey's Time Wizard. That's funny to me. Yugi, oh man, his tech choices are awesome. How he just teched in Dark Sage when he knew Joey would use Time Wizard. That's pretty bad. It makes Yugi look a little bad, but whatever. He has to do what he has to do to save his grandpa's soul. So Joey giving him Time Wizard, of course, saved his butt in the entire tournament because it won him almost every duel. But that's the second point. The third point is my beating Rex. My beat the moment where they didn't give Mai a big room, and of course Rex has a big room because he's the runner-up regional champion of Japan, I guess. And he sees it and he's flaunting his power. He's like, oh, what did he say? He was like, I got a big room. Check it out. Or no, she's like, can I see it? Because she was using her charms and her looks to get on Rex's good side, just to get in the room. So, of course, when they get in the room, she immediately challenges him. And if he loses, he clears out and she gets the room for the night. I mean, immediately then I would have said, get out, I know what you're doing. But of course, Rex is too blind to see it because she says she'll give him a kiss. So Rex can't resist. The game begins, and immediately Rex is done for. He's done for because he realizes that she can read all her cards, although no one knows how she does it yet. I certainly didn't when I was a kid. I was like, how is she doing this? Is she really that? Is she psychic? I had that. They faked me out so many times with that in the original in Duel Monsters. Faked me out so many times with fake psychic people. But yeah, her beating Rex and then throwing him out, I was like, get out, loser. And thanks for the room, Rex. I love how she had the little thanks for the room, Rex, hun, at the end there, just to like soften the blow. Rex was basically her lapdog, all of Duelist Kingdom. So the fourth point, Weevil throwing the Exodia cards out. Everyone knew this was coming. It's the most famous part of the episode. It's the thing I'm drawing right here, as you can see. It's the most famous thing from this episode. What else is there to say? Weevil is very scummy. He's one of the ultimate scumbags of all time. They do so well. The voice actor does so well at making him even scummier. You see how he wins all his duels, which is through cheating, and he just is totally exposed here. And from then on, he was never a good guy character ever. So it just was. This episode was really good at revealing Weevil as what he was, because it made him seem like a semi decent person in the second episode when he accepted the trophy from Pegasus, but you can clearly see here he is definitely not. So of course it's so iconic, him throwing Exodia over and Yugi no, or he's like, say goodbye to Exodia, and Yugi's like, no, like that. You can see his face. um yeah, just iconic, just so iconic. It's really up there in the top 10 moments all time of Yu-Gi-Oh. It just will never be forgotten. Everyone remembers it. Every kid from back then remembers it. I certainly do. Yugi, one thing must be said. Yugi would have dominated Duelist Kingdom if he kept Exodia. He would have never been challenged. No one ever would have challenged him. Not even Pegasus. Because Exodia is the strongest card in the game in existence to this point that they know about. So anyway, very iconic moment. We'll never forget it. The fifth and final point is Joey trying to save Exodia, like jumping off like a lunatic right after, just to collect, like, I think he collected 2 of the 5 cards, although they never talk about it again. But he collects 2 of the 5 cards, and you can see, he's struggling out there. Yugi comes out to help him. They almost missed the boat there. No pun intended. Yugi and Joey almost were screwed there, I will admit. But of course, Tristan and Taya reveal they were on the whole time, and yeah. So, and the famous "The Sun Will Rise in a Few Hours" by Tristan was in here, and everyone always jokes about it, but I think he meant. I don't really know what exactly he meant, or if whatever, it was a mistranslation from 4Kids, but to me it's hilarious. It adds to the hilarity of that is Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 1. So Joey trying to save Exodia, almost as iconic as Weevil throwing it over because of Joey's heart. It just shows how much heart he has. And right after it, he talks about his sister and her surgery. And it just works. It works so well. I love it. It just works so well. I really think that it's just a special moment, like right after that, when he talks about his sister. It gets real emotional again. So those 5 points was what I really wanted to talk about with this episode. I love it very dearly. The episode MVP to me is definitely Joey, hands down. He's the best character this episode. He has the most emotional moments. He goes all out for his friend. He collects cards that he'll definitely need for the tournament. He gets Time Wizard. He sneaks his way onto the boat. Everything he does here is so fun, and it feels like you yourself are entering the tournament because he's not top level duelist, so he represents us. That's how I feel about Joey Wheeler. So he's the MVP. If I had to rate it, it is not as good as the first and second episode. I think it's 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. The build up is still incredible. The build up to Duelist Kingdom is my favorite build up to any tournament ever. Battle City was great build up, but the ending of Battle City was better than the ending of Duelist Kingdom. But the beginning of Duelist Kingdom was better than the end of Battle City. That's how I say about. That's what I say about that. So anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of this video, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.